I'm absolutely fuming, to be fair, with the sport of boxing. I'm absolutely fuming with the Olympics for letting all this happen. I'm honestly fuming. Iman Khalif, who is technically biologically a man who was born with XY chromosomes and was tested for XY chromosomes, which technically makes you a biological man, beat up a woman in a boxing fight today with ease. 46 seconds. Then the woman Angela from Italy had to quit because she said in interviews she never felt power like this before from Iman Khalif. That was so sad to watch overall, to be fair. Absolutely disgusting. Honestly, like, as men, we should be taking care of women, showing them respect, letting them get on with their own sports. But Iman Khalif, not doing that. If you have XY chromosomes, that makes you biologically a man. It does, no matter what you say. This person, Iman Khalif, is intersex apparently, so was born a woman but has like male chromosomes inside of them. That's basically what it is. And this person, Iman Khalif, has the testosterone levels of a man. That makes you a biological man. I don't care what anyone says about it. Iman Khalif's not transgender, just intersex, who technically was biologically born as a man without a dick, I'm guessing. But this person should not be fighting women. Should not be fighting women. If you have XY chromosomes and a testosterone level of a man, you should not be allowed to fight women. You should be showing them respect, not beating up on them when it's completely unfair, when you've got the big advantages. Iman Khalif was an absolute disgrace in that ring today, showing massive arrogance in the ring, showing no respect whatsoever. You just saw that arrogance on the face. It was honestly horrible to see. Or honestly horrible to see. You have these women like Angela who have worked all their life to get to the Olympics, try and medal, and gets it taken away from them by someone who is not actually their gender. Someone who is not the same gender as them. Someone gets it taken away from someone with XY chromosomes. You are technically not a woman if you have XY chromosomes and a testosterone level of a man. That is not allowed. If you don't have, like in boxing in general as well, if you have too high level of testosterone, which Iman Khalif does, she has the testosterone levels of a man with XY chromosomes as well, you should be banned. Like, that's the thing. If you have high testosterone level, like Jarrell Miller, for example, which he had, he was banned for a bit. It just makes no sense overall. And let's be real though, Iman Khalif should be fighting with the men. If you have XY chromosomes, you should be fighting with men, if anything. But no, you wanted to take the easy way out, fight the women, and that you're gonna cruise your way to gold, because it's a well-known fact that the men are the stronger gender than the women. Like, overall, this kind of thing isn't as bad in other sports. It's still unfair, but in a fighting sport like boxing, it's horrible. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgraceful. In a fighting combat sport, a biological man can fight a woman. Should not be allowed. How is it allowed? It's, Iman Khalif failed gender tests. And is allowed in the Olympics, which is like the biggest competition of them all. Suddenly they're allowed. And the Olympics should be setting an example. But no, they're not. They're not at all. Not at all. They're the worst. Like, it's shocking to see. Shocking to see. These women have worked all their life and they're getting it stolen off of them by people with high testosterone and people with not the same chromosomes as them. XY chromosomes Iman Khalif has. Makes you a man. Whether people like it or not, it makes you a man. You should not be in there. Angela was saying how she'd never been hit this hard before and it was just a different kind of power. it's fair play to her for getting in there. Fair play to Angela for getting in there. Italy have got a warrior in her. Fair play to her. Big respect to Angela. But I feel like if we want to get this whole thing over, if we want to get this whole thing over and done with, and try and just boycott. I want to see women boycott some of their fights completely. Yes, but look, it's not ideal because they've worked so hard for it. But at the end of the day, as Angela did today, she quit because of her own health. She quit for her own health. Angela did the right thing. Fair play to her. But, I feel like now it's a time where women just need to boycott fights against men completely, because it should not be allowed. Simple as that. It's unfair on them. It's unfair on them. Let women do their own sport, but you've got these weak men ruining it. Fight actual men. If you have XY chromosomes, it makes you a man. It makes you a man. The testosterone levels of a man. It's more fair, you fighting men. It's honestly a joke. Honestly a joke. It's not good for it's just so worrying for these women. So worrying for these women. It's literally like the Olympics, like abuse. This is abuse in its own right, in my opinion. This is abuse in the Olympics, and the Olympics seem fine with it. It's not at all. Not at all. This is not right. This is not right at all. I feel so sorry for the women. I feel so sorry for the women in the Olympics this year. I feel so bad for them. They deserve so much better than this, and deserve to be fighting it in fair fights against people with XX chromosomes who are their own gender. That's what should be happening. It's a joke. The Olympics are just ruining so many women's dreams when they've worked so hard for this, and they have to fight men. Yes, as I said, Iman Khalifa is not transgender. Apparently was born a woman, but with XY chromosomes. And, look, there's nothing wrong with being intersex. You can't help being intersex. You're born that way. You're born being intersex. I have no problem with that whatsoever. If you're born intersex, you're born that way. You can't do anything about it. But the fact stands is that you should not be allowed to fight actual born women, biological women, in a fighting sport. It should not be allowed. Should not be allowed. Boxing is one of the most, if not the most dangerous sport in the world. This can't happen. You're physically hurting someone. It's a man physically hurting women, which should not be allowed. It should not be allowed in boxing. It's not allowed out there in real life. It should not be allowed in a sport. Simple as that. Fuming with this.